first to the next question, sir. Why are you the best candidate to win this nomination and ultimately defeat Congressman Mike McIntyre in November?
Well, I think that there are a lot of reasons. One of them is I've spent 45 years in the private sector. I have solved a lot of difficult problems in that. I was in the gasoline business many years in Texas. I know you were a trader, but I would venture to say I've forgotten more about the oil business than maybe you'll ever know. But anyway, I had an interest in a bank that went kaput thanks to Paul Volcker raising interest rates to 20%. So I have fought the hard knocks in the free enterprise system. I haven't ever had any kind of a job that got somebody that had a tax thing that could give you to save it out. So that's that. Plus I'm financing this myself. I believe that we've got to do something to straighten these elections out. And I think that the candidates should pay for them. I think that there should be a very modest limit. And that's it, because this thing it's all this money that's in these elections right now are corrupting it. And I think that one thing, the fact that that I'm financing it myself is a big plus on my side. Now, as far as Wilmington is concerned, I think that I've been around here a while. I know the issues, and the port of North Carolina is the driving. The port at Wilmington is the driving force of the economy of North Carolina, and I think that it takes somebody that's been around here a while. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Senator Rouser, why are you the best candidate to win this nomination and then defeat Congressman Mike McIntyre in November?
I'm battle tested. I've won several elections. I won an election in 2008. I wasn't supposed to win. And as you may recall, 2008 was not a good year to be on our side of the aisle. My history with Senator Helms. There are a lot of folks throughout this district that know the quality of my work. They know that I'm about bringing about solutions. I worked for Senator Helms 2 stints. First time, 95 to 2000, and I came home. Thought I was home for good. Had been here working for NC State for about a year and a half, and he called me right after 9/11, and he said, "David, will you come back?" I said, "I need your help. We got some real issues we got to deal with." And so I went back. After he retired, Senator Elizabeth Dole asked me to stay on board with her to help see through a very complicated, cumbersome issue dealing with the tobacco industry. I agreed to stay. My entire career, I've been focused on helping bring back solutions, bring forward solutions. And that's something that, quite honestly, I have an experience set and a skill set that none of my competitors here at this table have. I can win the election in November. All those Jessiecrats throughout this district, they know my work, they know me. And they've already told me, "David, if you're the nominee, we're going to be behind you." And these are folks who have traditionally supported Mike McIntyre. This district is 43% Democrat, 33% Republican, and 22% unaffiliated. You've got to have the Democrats to win, the Jessiecrats, and I have them.
Thank you, Senator. Mr. Pantano, why are you the best candidate to win this nomination and defeat Congressman Mike McIntyre in November?
I think the voters are going to decide who the best candidate is. I'm just going to offer them my lifetime of service, professional experience, and heart, and they'll make the choice. America has this amazing ability to self-correct, and in times of crisis and in times of need, and we've seen darker times than these, my friends, Americans have made the right choices and they've dug deep. I'm the only candidate in this race that has Fortune 100 experience and small business experience signing the front of a paycheck. Why does that matter? Because the economic solutions that we're talking about are in fact complex, but they have a bottom line dimension right here at home. I believe in protecting the homeland, whether it's securing the border, making sure that we're energy independent, or keeping the bad guys from hurting your family. I've got the scars to prove that. I'm the only person in this race that's the other kind of battle tested. I believe in preserving conservative values. I'm the only person in this race that has a wife and 2 small children. So when I think about the future, that's not just rhetoric. I look at it every day. I worry about it every night. And I'm proud of them because they just got good report cards. finally, I'm the only one on this stage who's not a career politician. My friend Randy Crow's run for office 19 times, a couple times as president. I want to hear about that later on. And of course, the senator, over a decade plus working in Washington. Friends, you've got to ask yourself, who's going to go to Washington to reform it, and who's going to go to Washington to conform to it? That's the question for you to solve. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We are sort of winging it here. I have this penchant for telling the truth. We're at the end of our questions, so we are now into creative mode. And I think I've got the order right on this, but I've sort of lost track of that. I believe it will be Mr. Crow first, then Senator Rouser, and then Mr. Pantano. That can't be right, because that's how it just was, wasn't it? Tolerate me. It's Rouser, Pantano, and then Crow. Sorry about that. I'm not good at order, but I'm good at questions. I think it's a known fact right now that citizens are upset with government. They don't trust government. They feel that people are there for their own personal gain. And many people believe that lobbyists and big business influence government, and when folks get to their elected office, that you forget the invisible person back home. How will you assure the public, not only tonight, but once elected, that that will not occur in your time in service?
Start with it. Well, thank you for the question. I think that's a very important question. I think part of it is you can look and see and learn who we are as individuals. You know, what type of moral courage, we have. Our faith and our beliefs, our upbringing. You know, when I was working on the tobacco farm in the summers, you learn the values of hard work. And my mom and dad, they brought me up in church. That's where I learned my faith. That's where I developed in my relationship with the Lord. That has served me exceptionally well. We have very, very difficult problems that we face today. We had difficult problems when we took over in the legislature this year, and we hit those problems head on. We had the moral courage to deal with those problems head on. And yes, there's lobbyists that come and see you about various things. And sometimes when you agree, you say yes, and when you don't agree, you say no. I worked for a fellow who was the master of saying no. One of the forefathers of the modern day conservative movement is Senator Helms. All of us that went to go work for Senator Helms went to go work because we cared about the country. It wasn't because of the pay, I can assure you that. It was because we cared about the country. We believed in the principles of free enterprise and limited government. And we believe that we need to return to the moral and spiritual principles that made this country great to begin with. So I think you have to take a look at the individuals. Look at their background, look at their history, look at how they perform.
Mr. Pantano, do you need me to repeat that?
Please.
Okay, I'll have to make it up again. Many people in America have lost faith in government. They don't trust elected officials. And many believe that PACs, lobbyists, big business, influence decisions